We are joined in studio by Ron Sulzrud, owner, co-owner, partial owner of Petland. Half owner of Petland.
Husband and wife.
Eastside, Iowa City. Good morning, Ron. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing very good. I always like to point out that it's owned by husband and wife, family, male, female. You know, you get all those different things out there. And Wendy and I are very involved, engaged in Petland of Iowa City. I do more of the grunt work around the store.
Like being on the air with me, that's grunt work.
This is
How dare you, sir?
And then, she is a little bashful in that way. And then she does she's more of that behind the scenes kind of person. We both love working with customers. So that's a critical aspect. But then she likes to do the paperwork. And I don't know if she would say she likes to, but she is very, very good at that.
That's the aspect of it. But you know what? That's what makes a great team.
Yes. And we do make a great team. And a lot like that, you talk with them and they kind of get angry at each other. I'm not saying we never have a spat. We're not by no means perfect, but we rarely do. And it's fun, and it's a fun family business.
Well, and you have a great team of employees over there that care about what they do.
Yes, we care deeply about those employees, and so it's a fun place all the way around.
Well, and that translates then from the employees and your consultants caring to the customer, and you always want to keep them sharp, making them read the AKC kennel book,
the
ACC book, the kennel book. So they're always up to educating themselves and making sure that they're passing along that wealth of information on to your customers.
Yeah, my background is engineering. I'm all about information, education, and so I have all these little, and I'm a father. So I have these little things to help the counselors learn more and more every hour of the day. And I am one of those people that when I walk out onto the floor and if they're just gabbing, okay, what do we need to educate on? What do you know about this? A couple of questions, and they're all like, "Arr." But that's
part of the deal.
That's part of owning a business.
And I would assume also,
or managing people for that matter.
Managing people, but that will translate down the line. They might not necessarily appreciate it right now, just like you and I probably didn't appreciate it when we were, of that
Called
age.
The question.
But anyway, that's what makes Petland of Iowa City so great. So what are we going to be talking about this week? What breed and fascinating things do you bring us this Sunday morning?
We're going to talk about the friendly boxer, and we're going to find out about a war past of the boxer. So that'll be an interesting story, and then we'll learn more about the behaviors of the boxer. Then we're going to jump into supplements, and we're going to take the rest of the program to do that, because there are so many supplements by a company that we've had in our store for 10 years or over 10 years called Nature Vet, and they solve so many problems that all of us have issues with our dogs and cats. And you kind of just succumb to it and you just let it go and say, well, that is that. Well, there are solutions out there that you need to know about it to maybe even eliminate the situation, if not improve it significantly. So we're talking about scooching. We're talking about my dog eats poop. That's a natural thing, but we can help you with helping that dog or stop doing that. But then we're going to also get into how to calm the dog down a couple of levels with natural products. Does your dog have the tear stains? All sorts of different things. We're going to go down a healthy list and show you ways you can help your dog or cat with these issues.
There's probably some people out there that go, oh my gosh, a dog eats poop? Yeah, it's completely natural. And I think that sometimes people think, or they forget, if I can editorialize, they forget it's a dog.
And it is a natural biological, they're designed to do that. And so you don't have the odd dog. They do that. In fact, it's part of their life. But it's like having kids, all right, you might fart out loud like that, but don't do that in front of people. We can help them be a little more social especially when they eat it and then come give you a kiss. That's just so gross. So we'll help you with those issues in an easy way.
Let's look at an amazing pet story of the week. What do you say?
Clean it up a little bit, you mean? We've talked about poop already.
Yeah.
Enough.
Hey, it's a Sunday morning. It's you, and we're talking about dogs and poop. This is the way my life rolls sometimes. But let's get into the Positively Petland story of the week.
It's time for the amazing pet story of the week.
This one comes to us from Poinsett County, Arkansas. In Arkansas, family's pet. Any guesses on what it is?
I know what it is.
Did I already tell you? I don't remember.
Goat.
Oh, that's right. I did say it. I forgot completely. An Arkansas family's pet goat is being credited with saving them from a house fire. Another fire story. WREG reports that 10-year-old Abigail Bruce was sleeping in the living room of the family's Poinsett County home Saturday night when the goat started bleating loudly and jumping on her legs and chest. She woke up and saw smoke and then ran into her parents' room to alert them. They escaped unharmed through the bedroom window. Speedy, the goat, joined the family just 2 days earlier as a birthday present for Abigail. Her father didn't know at first, but now says that Speedy will be part of the family forever from now on. So the goat, sensitive to the smoke, alerted them and said, hey, it's time to get out. So that is your amazing pet story of the week. And yes, people out there even have pet goats in the house. That's just the way that it rolls.
In the house?
Yeah. Being credited for saving them from a house fire.
Yeah, but I guess I had a different vision. I know of a story of when a goat got into a house, and it was not a pretty sight when they came back to the house, and the goat had let itself into the house, which is another amazing story in itself. But yeah, that was not a good day for that goat owner. Those goats are now at a zoo because that was the last of the goat.
I'm going to re-clarify myself and say that the goat does not say that it was inside. I assumed that it was inside.
I'm just figuring out.
Outside. I like the idea of the goat being on the inside, chewing on all the furniture. And it's from Arkansas. Not to stereotype or stereotypical Arkansas people, but it's something that is plausible. A goat inside the house. Anyway, that could happen. Any way you look at it, the family was saved. The goat's getting the credit. Yada yada yada. That is your amazing pet story of the week. And so, looking forward to our next segment, we're going to be talking about what breed again? Tell us about that.
The boxer. And then we're going to move into the supplements that will help your dog or cat overcome a lot of different issues. It's the counseling session with Ron Solzrud, Petland of Iowa City, east side of Iowa City, in the Iowa City marketplace. I'm Jerry Lawler on 800 KXIC. Join us for segment 2 coming up. Excuse me. Man, that was on the air last time.
Is that what was it?
Yeah. Sorry. And I said, what was that?
Sorry. Bad habits. It is the Positively Petland show on 800 KXIC. We are joined in studio by famous drumroll Ron Solzrud from Petland of Iowa City. Good morning.
In my own head, yes. Famous in my own head.
Tried to give you a stronger intro, the intro that you deserve inside your head.
Yeah, in my head.
And everybody else has to just deal with it. But once again, we are joined by Ron. It is the Positively Petland show right here on 800 KXIC every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. And you have one of my favorite breeds. I've never owned a boxer, but I think that they are just a fun, kind of tough looking, tough talking, acting like, it's a thick, solid little dog.
Right. Well, big dog.
Can be a big dog.
And then, yeah, I like the shape of a boxer. It's got that, barrel chest, and then it gets a little lean in the stomach area. And then those hips, they just walk with confidence, It's like
it's like the old Looney Tunes. Wasn't there wasn't the bulldog the one that walked on its knuckles and it had,
I think that was an English bulldog.
Okay.
I don't know, but I'm envisioning that.
I haven't seen Looney Tunes in a long time, but yeah, it's that kind of, it's that tough talking, walking. But anyway,
what's neat about
it's a fun breed.
Yeah, and we're gonna find. Don't be scared away from the heritage of the boxer. It is a good one, but the boxer is a very social animal, and that is because it has been socialized through breeding in the more recent times, and that's why it makes a really good family pet. And anybody with a boxer will say, yeah, my boxer, wouldn't hurt a flea, kind of a thing. But let's hear about the history as per AKC, the club that represents the boxer. Goes through the history, and this is how it reads. The boxer as we know him today is a product of selective breeding for many generations. So that would be very true for many breeds, for all breeds. However, he was largely defined in Germany in the 19th and early 20th century, although his ancestors hark back as far as Assyrian war dogs of 2500 BC. That goes a little ways back. The boxer was developed for stocky Bullenheiser, which means bull biters, who were used to run down, catch, and hold fierce wild game. Wild boar, bear, and bison. So they were used in that hunting aspect as well. Gosh, can you imagine what they were? They were Assyrian war dogs. Gosh, those were like some difficult times back then.
I was going to say pretty tough.
Yeah. If we ever think we're barbaric today, just think back what we were doing back then. We had war dogs and they ran people down. There's a vision in that one. All right. So this is where I put the disclaimer. This is not what the boxer does today.
I was just going to say, it's like, that's not what
so let's continue on. They were held in great esteem and were actually regarded as hunting hounds. In selecting for type and function, the Germans developed a somewhat smaller and lighter dog from the Bullenheiser bloodlines, adding, I think I did a good accent on that, adding a small Mastiff-like English dog as a significant cross. So that's what they were crossbreeding to get it to closer to what it is today. The first German boxer club was founded in Munich in 1896, and subsequently breeder enthusiasts continued to refine their breed stock. And so it goes on as it then was introduced from Germany into America and was made an AKC, or was brought into the AKC club back in 1935. So AKC has only been around for what I think, we're in over 100 years. And this is dating back to 1935. So this was one of the original ones. Form and function, the boxer was bred to be a medium size. So not large, but medium size. I have small dogs. And so I look at a boxer and go, that's a big dog. Square and very strong dog so that he could exhibit great speed, but at the same time make quick turns while pursuing wild game in forest terrain. So, I've not ever heard of anybody refer to their boxer as a hunting dog. Have you? It's always the labs and the goldens and the hounds, but the boxers I have not heard much. Living here, what's it like living with the boxer? Most breeders will keep their puppies until about 8 weeks, and that's what we do in our store. I pick up the boxers at 8 weeks, an excellent time for a puppy to go to a new home. The ideal show puppy is a mini replica of the adult. So I think that was an obvious statement, wasn't it? The puppy looks a lot like the adult, but smaller. Square, solid, with a beautiful head, dark eyes, and undershot bite, which is a nice way of saying it has an underbite. Another thing with the boxers that I've noticed is you're always in dogs, if you're into the looks and all that kind of stuff, obviously the AKC is very much of how is the skeletal structure and what is the look. A lot of things that I look for when I'm looking at puppies and mom and dad to see how are they going to look. Symmetry in the face. So if you drew a line vertically across the nose, it should look the same on both sides. But with boxers and a few other breeds, what I'm also looking for is what's called a fancy collar. And that's where the white goes around the entire neck. So it's a fawn boxer or brindle boxer, but then that white spots that you'll see on them, I'm looking for it so that it makes a full connection around. And that's called a fancy box or a fancy collar on a boxer. And that would be a trait that you would desire, kind of a thing. You see them probably like 1 in 15, 1 in 20, where it actually has that fancy collar. Some of the big boxer owners in our store, the customers that own boxers, they'll actually ask, once I describe some of this stuff with them and talk boxer with them, they'll go, give me a call next time one of those fancy collars come in, and they nab it up right away because they'll do a little research and go, ooh, that is a desirable trait. And it's fun to be able to talk about your dog in that way. Then finally, boxers are happy, playful dogs and cherish their toys into old age. They love their families and especially children, but they are not for everyone. And so the basics of the boxer. So it is a medium to large size dog. It is a shedding dog, but it has short hair. So if you have a large breed and long hair, you're going to see a lot more shed around the house. Boxers are going to be less. So if you said, I don't mind a little shedding, the boxer is coming up your alley there, especially because of the short hair. If you are one of those people that says, I don't want shedding in my house, then you're looking for what is quote unquote a non-shedding dog. Those are the Bichons and the Poodles and all that. There's a lot of them out there. The only large breed, and I'll have to look at last time we reviewed it, but the soft-coated Wheaton is a large breed that is non-shedding, quote unquote. I say that because they still do shed, just like we shed. And I always joke that I shed a little bit more than others because of the lack of top hair on my noggin. So the boxer is short hair, shedding dog. Some other things, a very playful dog. We did go through, their heritage, but realized that as over the last 100 years to 200 years, they've been taking the nicest boxer from the litter because as a society, we went from a hunting, fighting, and all that kind of with our dogs. Now that's discouraged heavily, not the hunting part, but the fighting aspect is discouraged heavily in our society today. I always find it fascinating. It was okay back then, and now it's not. So they've been breeding the boxer to be nicer as a result. You pick the nicest boxer out of the litter that has the form and function of what that classic boxer looks like, and then you breed that one. And you will then change the temperament of the future generations by doing that. And that is what scientifically proven practice. And that's why we have nicer boxers today than what was maybe in the past. So that is a boxer. Any questions? Are you pondering anything?
I am, because it's one of those fascinating breeds that I just didn't realize that it had been around for 2,500 years. I mean, that's an old breed. No, it's just fascinating. It always amazes me as far as the shedding part. Short hair, you're not going to see it as much, and obviously they are shedding, but no, the boxers are just one of my favorite breeds.
One of the things, and I know I've pointed it out on the radio a lot, is if you are somebody that says, I want a low maintenance dog, and gosh, 10 years ago, I would say, well, get a non-shedding dog because you won't have the fur all over the place. That's low maintenance. I was wrong because the low shedding dogs require a lot of maintenance. I have one that's non-shedding and one that's shedding. Susie, our Maltese poodle, non-shedding dog, every morning we're going to go into tear staining. I have all this primping I got to do. I got to trim this. I got to cut that. I got to wash this, kind of a thing. Doesn't shed, so that's a nice part. But there's more maintenance. Now, Callie, our dachshund, short hair and a small dog, is a low maintenance dog. So again, short hair, small dogs are low maintenance because you don't even see the shed around your house.
Right.
Callie is. We always say we didn't know how easy you were until we got Susie, the trouble child. So Dachshunds, Chihuahuas, miniature pinchers, Italian Greyhounds, those are all breeds that are easier in the maintenance side. Now they might have some personality things that you need to deal with, but that is something you can manage through training, and so it's much easier than having to deal with shed or a lot of grooming throughout the entire life.
Do you have boxers in the store right now?
We do have boxers in the store right now. And if they go home before you come in on Sunday, we will be getting more boxers. That is something that I always try to have a boxer or two in the store because it's such a popular breed and a wonderful breed on top of that.
And if you haven't been over to Petland, you can go in, look through the glass and say, hey, I want to try out that one, or I want to play with that one. And then I like the, what do you call them? The
playrooms.
Just right there off to the side. The dogs love getting played with and love getting attention.
Yeah.
And it's just a great way of kind of introducing yourself to each other and figuring it out. But even if, you just kind of want to, if you haven't been around a dog in a while and you just want to see if you want to inch back in or if this dog is right for you, get in and play with them, and it's fun.
Right. We love it when you come in and play. You socialize those puppies. They then are used to a lot of different people and how to interact with them as a result. They find that you're not an enemy. You're not, an intruder. You're not. So they tend to be more social as a result. You can continue that on when you take them home by introducing them to a lot of people. We love people that come in and play with the puppies. And then what we like to do is, educate you. This is what this breed is all about. You might find that the first puppy I ever sent home, a young couple in a house, fenced in yard, came in. We wanted a Yorkie. A Yorkie is the best thing ever. Ended up going home with a lab because that was the right pet for them. And so that's what we're all about, is educating you.
And your counselors are knowledgeable. They are friendly. I have been in the store with my boys. When I had a dog, that's where we always went for dog food and whatnot. So I know firsthand that your counselors do an amazing job of being educated, staying up on the breeds, and are just friendly and they're helpful, and they're always on the run. I mean, they never, you said earlier in the show, sometimes they stand around. I've never seen them not, or I've never seen them stand around. Either they're helping somebody with a rabbit, like we talked about last week, or a Hampshire, or one of the reptiles, or fish. I mean, there are plenty of great associates that you have there.
Right.
So,
and we teach in our store, don't be afraid to say, I don't know. Let me go check. And either get somebody that does know, get the books out is continuous. I want to see the books out because that's where published, scrutinized writing has been about this pet, this dog, this breed, so that we give you the facts the way they are. Not what I caution our counselors on is I don't want to hear your opinion come out.
Right.
I want to hear more factual. You might have had one, let's say here a boxer, you might have had one boxer in your life. So you have an opinion on one life there. I want the more breadth of, what do we know about boxers from multiple boxers? And that's where the books come in and give you that nice flavorful, colorful history and breadth of what a boxer is all about.
And so one of the things that you mentioned that we're going to talk about is scooching.
Scooching. We had to look up the word scooch. How do you?
And that is SKOOCH. It means to drag one's butt across the floor. I'm not kidding. That's exactly.
Oh, did it actually define it that way?
Actually, to drag. It was like
ones.
It was like the fourth or fifth definition underneath it. Some of it had to do with personalities and whatnot, but the fourth definition on it was to drag one's butt across the floor, which is natural for dogs to do.
Yeah, and what's happening in that situation? Why does a dog scooch? Well, it might have a little Klingon on the outside. Okay, so it's trying to get that off. But most of the time, it is because the anal gland is full or uncomfortable to the dog. And so it is, I guess it would feel like something's on me back there. Mm-hmm. And so they're trying to wipe it off. And it's one of those things that nature has, or they've, developed over time where it actually helps express that gland as well. What is natural is when they are defecating or pooping and all that kind of stuff, it then naturally expresses the gland, and that's the way it's supposed to work. But there's products out there, No Scoot by Nature Vet, and we have this in our store. And I've used it in the past when my dog has struggled through some periods where it kept that gland must have just kept on getting full. We used to have to go to the veterinarian to have it expressed, but it was getting to be like every 2 weeks, and we're like, let's solve this thing. And so there's a product out there called No Scoot that hits that issue from a multiple perspective. One is through the digestive tract, so that how things accumulate in that gland are lessened. Then it firms up the poop so that it expresses it better and all that. So it's a wonderful product that we've used in our own house. I know that it works for your dog. And gosh, who wouldn't like a little firmer Tootsie Roll to pick up in the yard anyways? Was that a nice reference? I don't know.
No, I'm amazed at your ability to put maybe seemingly sometimes awkward or just kind of strange conversations. Hey, this is the Petland show, Positively Petland show, and so these are the topics that multiple perspectives was my favorite way that you said that the food is going to attack the issue of the anal gland. Multiple perspectives. That's at the top of my list of you putting something seemingly maybe a little bit awkward very delicately, and
right.
That was nice.
I think that's the engineering in me, in that when engineers, and I'm doing it right now, I can't come up with the right word. Well, then we start describing it, and we do it in very big detail.
See, big detail. I would have said different angles, which then you're looking at the
so then
issue of it is like, what are you talking? Different multiple perspectives,
and that is the creativity of an engineer. we listen to us, and you'll go, "Holy cow!" There's some creativity coming out in that guy.
There
or gal.
There were a lot of things that were coming out there.
Yes. And so getting back to
full circle, this is my job.
The little Tootsie Rolls that come out. So that is No Scoot and Scooch, and how to handle that situation. Then here, staying on the poopy side of things, coprophagia. Do you know what coprophagia is?
Isn't that Barry Manilow song?
Yeah. I like the tie-in there.
Thanks.
Cabana.
Frasia.
Yeah, it's Coco Cabana. I saw him in concert. I hope he's still touring. He is a older man for sure now. He is a wonderful act, and I will admit I'm not the fan in the family, but to see him in concert, that was incredible. You got to see that. He is a performer for sure.
I mentioned Barry Manilow, and I misled you on where we were headed. Give me the word again, and
Coprophagia.
Ron, no, I do not know what that means. Why don't you tell us?
That is the technical term of my dog eats poop. And so that is a natural thing that dogs do. And they will not only eat their own poop, they'll eat other dogs' poop. They'll even eat cats' poop. So this thing goes forever. Now, that is a natural thing. All dogs are capable. Only some dogs continue to do it. I think it goes back to their opportunistic eaters. They say, I need to eat, and so I'm going to eat. They also have short, dogs and cats have short digestive tracts compared to us. So it doesn't, the theory goes is that the nutrition is not totally digested. So they have a smell or a sense of smell that is far beyond us. I always, if you could visualize, or to put a visualization to it, and visualization is going to come around, they smell like we see. So right now I see green shirt, I see a pen in your pocket, I see headphones on, I see all these different things. They smell with that kind of detail. So when they smell the poop, we smell the overwhelming, oh, this is not good. And I think that's nature in itself too. Don't eat it. You know, that's kind of but the dog smells also the undigested part and says, oh, I can use that. And then they go for it. So that's called coprophagia. It happens from when they're puppies all the way through adults. You can actually buy a product. You feed it to the one whose poop is being eaten, so that it makes the poop have a bad smell to it to the dog. So if your dog is eating the other dog's poop, you got to feed it to the other dog. If it's eating the cat poop, you got to feed it to the cat so that the part that comes out has that product in there. And now when the culprit comes along, the Copafrasia dog, and says, "Ooh, there's poop. I want to eat it." They smell it and they go, "Ooh, something else is going on in there. I don't want it." That's what this product does. So I think I've explained it.
You did. You had me a little bit confused there. So basically,
It's confusing. That's when a lot of people get confused.
Yeah. So in order to counteract one, you have to give it to the other. Is it a one-time shot or?
Nah, it's a continuous thing. But the good news is Copafrasia is usually a temporary issue with dogs. They do it for a short period of time, which could be year or years, but then they get through it and then they stop doing it.
And so I guess my natural question would be, is once it stops because of, what you're giving the other pet, how do you know when to stop?
It's trial and error.
Okay.
On this one, if and I will make a side note, which is not we're talking about nature vet products and all that kind of stuff. If your dog is eating your cat's poop, just come on in and it's a litter box, and you're going to love this litter box. It does two things extremely well. One is it stops the dog from eating the cat poop. The second thing is that it almost eliminates tracking. And I do mean, man, this is like once every couple days you're sweeping, you're going to go to once a month. That's how good it does on reducing the tracking from your cat. But that solves the problem permanently just by using a litter box that the dog will not go into to get the poop out. So that's a side note. Going back to Copafrasia, just feed this to it, and then it's trial and error to find out, all right, are you gonna eat it again? Kind of a thing. So I probably would, you're gonna buy a carton of this Copafrasia when you're done with it. Let it go for a day or two and see what happens. If you see them munching away again, okay, I'm gonna have to go buy another box of that or a tub of that. So that's called Copafrasia. Those of you that have dogs that are white in color notice tear staining. The other dogs that have darker skin sometimes have tear staining as well, but you don't notice it as much. So it's not as much of an eyesore.
What did you call it earlier? The Alice Cooper eyes?
Yeah, so Susie, the Maltese poodle, the trouble child in our family, has tear staining at a severe level. And we'll go into a little bit of why that happens. But when she wakes up in the morning, bless her heart, she looks like Alice Cooper. She's got those things coming down this, between her cheek and her nose, just comes down, streaking a couple of inches, and it's all red and mucusy in the morning. And you go, "Aw, Susie." She doesn't know it. It doesn't hurt her or anything.
Right.
It doesn't even irritate them. Unless you let it get out of hand, it actually can cause sores and stuff like that. So that's called tear staining. So whether you don't notice it or you have noticed it because you got up close there and saw it, you can handle that through a couple of different things. There is an ingestion type product. It has a lot of oxidants and stuff like that. For the tear staining that is not as quite bad, that product works really well. You can feed it to your dog. It lessens the tear stains up so that it might even go away for you. You bulk up on the front end to get it into their system, and then you can lean off. For Susie, it helps mildly. She has a severe situation, so you got to go the next step. And so she does the internal treatment to reduce it. But then every morning I use a liquid for tear staining. And some of the products that are out there, it comes with, it's soaked. The liquid has pads and stuff. So you take the pad out and wipe them down. I like those, but I actually find for the severe, like Susie, I actually drip the product right onto those tear stains and then rub it around a little bit to loosen them up, because literally Susie has little gooey things going on, but they're hardened because they dried out overnight. And so I loosen them up like that. She then runs out, does her business. That product is doing its work. And when she comes back in, we have a little paw towel that we wipe their paws off, and I give her a little wipe around the eyes, and that clears up the stuff that's all around there and keeps it manageable. So there's two products then that Nature Vet has for that. One's a digestive, you put it in their food kind of a thing. And then the other one is a liquid that you use to wipe wipe down those eye areas and manage it. If you allow it to continue too bad, that cakiness that occurs will actually start irritating the skin and the little sores will occur. Don't worry about it. Just clean it up. Those sores will heal usually on their own, but keep that area clear of that and you will prevent those sores from coming back and you'll have a more sightly dog.
And what was the name of the product again?
Tear stain. It has different names, but it's always has tear staining in its names so that you understand what it's for. Another little quick tip on that one though is I also trim the hair around the eyes. I have one of those really tiny trimmers that you can put it right to your skin and it doesn't cut you or anything like that. And I just trim that hair up. I used to use scissors, but I just don't like scissors around eyes. And so I'm one of those kind of people. The trimmer, she can, at the beginning when I first did it, she didn't like it. But I worked with her and she's now, 7 or 8 years old. She just lets me get in there, trim it up. She knows it's not going to be a bad thing. Plus, she knows what's going to happen after I'm done. What do you think she gets after we're all done?
A bath?
A treat.
Oh, yeah, a treat.
Oh, yeah. If I gave her a bath, she'd go, oh, I am not going through this again. So I give her a treat at the end, and then she runs off and has some fun with the treat. So that's a really good product. Cranberry Relief is another product that's out there. So does your dog or cat, in this case, have urinary tract infections or urinary issues? The Cranberry Relief has both cranberries, but it has other things in there, echinacea and stuff that will help the urinary tract of the dog. So if you have an older dog or one that has that kind of an issue, cats often have issues with their urinary tracts. This would be something great for them. Another product by Nature Vet, the buffered aspirin. We get a lot of questions about my dog has a pain of what, it got injured or whatever. How can I just relieve that pain? And then it becomes, well, there are a lot of products that we use that the dogs can and the cats can use as well. But I literally at my house will not give a human product to the dog or the cat because I don't know the dose.
Right.
I don't know the strength and I don't want to hurt my dog or cat. So I always have their own buffered aspirin, and then on that label it tells me how much do I give and all that kind of stuff, so that I'm using it and it's safe and all that kind of a thing. So that's buffered aspirin, another really good Nature Vet product. And you're going to need to just coach me when you need to.
No, we're doing great.
So another one is, okay, so have you ever heard of bitter apple?
Of course.
So what do we use bitter apple for?
Oh, now I don't. I've heard of it. I don't know what it is.
Okay. So if your dog is chewing things in your house and you want them to stop chewing it, well, one is get them some chews that are better. That's the number one way to do it. But they sometimes sneak back and start chewing that rug or that leg on that furniture or the sofa or whatever it is again. So bitter apple has been, I think they made the market a long time ago. But a lot of us out there have found that there's two issues with that product. I have it in the store because everybody, likes it and knows it and all that. But there's two issues I have with that. There is this, half the dogs like it. They lick it.
And so this is a product to prevent
them from chewing or licking or...
And that's a side effect.
It's an oral thing. So there are some dogs out there that actually like it. And so you go, okay, don't give up on the technology, just get a different one. And we're going to talk about bitter yuck. The second thing that bitter apple and most of the other ones have is alcohol in it. That is how they solubilize the yucky part that is in there so that you can deliver it onto things. And then the alcohol evaporates fairly quickly, but leaves the yucky part back there so that when they lick it, they go, ooh, I don't like this. Well, Nature Vet has one called Bitter Yuck. It doesn't have alcohol in it. Why is that really important for some of us? If you have there's a wound on your dog or cat that they keep on licking and they won't leave it alone, if you spray bitter apple on the open wound, you're going to hear some howling. Because that's alcohol on an open wound that hurts. Bitter yuck doesn't have the alcohol in it, so it's safe to spray on ouchies and stuff like that. It is also one of the most potent bittering agents out there. I have I can't remember having anybody say, yeah, I used it and they liked it, kind of a thing. This is one of those, nobody likes it.
Does it have a smell?
I've never noticed a smell when I use it.
It's kind of mind-boggling that there's just the technology out there where you can get something that tastes that
Nasty.
awful.
Yeah.
And it doesn't smell.
Kids are usually the ones that find out how good the product works.
Why? Because they're going around chewing on the end table?
Well, they touch things and then they put their hands in their mouth and all that. One of the uses for it is your dog chewing on your kid's hands and stuff, and you can spray this bitter yuck on their hands. Now offer your hand to the dog and they'll then be conditioned to go, oh, your hands are not good. They used to taste like French fries because when you came home from McDonald's, that was really good.
Right.
Now they just taste bad. You must have grown up, kind of thing.
Right.
So the kids will spray it on their hands to get the dog from stop biting their hands or being orally fixated on the hand thing. But then the child eats something like, I don't know, candy or whatever, puts it in their mouth, and they get a little of that residual onto the candy or whatever, and then that goes in their mouth, and it is nasty. I have yet to taste this.
So next week on the Positively Petland show on air,
we should taste it.
I am throwing myself out there in front of the bus. I will taste bitter apple live on air.
Should we have all of them lined up?
Okay, I said I was going to taste one, not 12.
Oh, that's extra bad. Oh, a taste test.
That'll be the ending feature for each one of our shows every Sunday morning. Is I'm going to just take a big old swig off of each one of these things.
Yeah, I think that would be a swig would be nasty.
So I'll let you. For all of you watching, I'll let you just spray it on my tongue.
For those of you that don't know, we do live YouTube simulcasts of this show. So we're recording this live on what is today, Thursday, from 9 until about 10. You can watch it live, but then you can also watch it record because it then switches into a recording. And we'll be able to have a visual of Jerry trying these. I got to remember this because
I'm game. I'll do it.
Threw it down.
Let's wrap it up. We got about 3 more minutes. So
all right. Some other things. Nature Vet in general has a lot of really good products so if you have the glucosamine and chondroitin in your dog's diet because of joint issues, you want to check out Nature Vet. They take it to a whole nother level. Check out our cherry tart supplements that are included in it. Scientifically proven. Actually got to meet the scientists that did the study. Cherry tarts help your joints. And so it is a great product for the dogs. I am surprised we have not seen that on the public market. I actually eat cherries, dehydrated cherries, because I'm 52 years old, that arthritis thing. I was informed that I have age-appropriate arthritis.
Age-appropriate.
I know.
That's nice. That kind of
tells you you're getting old.
Does that make you feel any better?
No, it didn't. I said,
age-appropriate.
It was better than when I was 18 years old and I was told by my hair cutter, I'm going to cut your hair a little different because of your receding hairline. 18 years old. I said, don't ever tell anybody that again at that age.
Kind of like when you said multiple perspectives earlier.
Yes.
It's the crafty way of putting relatively.
Just do it. Grass Saver is another product by Nature Vet. I use these heavily because my dogs stain the yard, makes those brown patches. This is an incredible product that I saw a dramatic improvement. And then they even have a product for the areas that they really peed a lot in, and it just grass couldn't handle it. They have a restorative product that you sprinkle in that area to neutralize it, put seed on it right away, and it will grow grass. And I've been doing this for 2 years, and it is a wonderful product. So come in on our Grass Saver product. Another one that people love Nature Vet for are their calming aids. The calming aids actually bring your cat or dog down a level or 2, and it really works. We have a lot of testimonials on that. For those that are getting into the mushroom extracts and stuff now, we're seeing healing properties and immune support systems through that. They have a Mushroom Max product and a lot more. Flea and tick, they've got that little white sprinkle stuff on your carpet to rid your house of the flea and ticks. You could see, you're starting to see the breadth of products. We talked about No Scoot. They also have no toot.
Really?
Mhm.
Now that's one that I could have used on my Dane.
So we got a lot of products, and these are all in our store right now. People love this stuff, and constantly are saying I'm glad you showed that to me.
Just to wrap up here, why don't you tell us a little bit about Petland, Eastside Iowa City?
We're a Petland of Iowa City, located across from the Marketplace Mall, or Lucky's Market. We are open today from noon until 6. And then every other day, we're open from 10 a.m. until 9 p.m. But today, Sunday, is noon until 6. Come on in and play and just, experience the different pets. Is your family considering one? There's nothing better than actually touching, feeling, seeing, learning about these pets to say, is that the right pet for your family? So come on in and do that. We have our buy 10, get one free on our dogs. We track it for you. And then we have the $5 nail trim. Just bring in your vaccination schedule. No appointment needed.
And that's for multiple pets.
Mm-hmm. All your furry friends. We even do bird trimmings and all that kind of stuff as well.
So it is Positively Petland show. Thank you, Ron. Very informative with the boxer and all of the
Nature Vet products
that are out there. Multiple, a plethora of products out there.
I love the word plethora.
To support all of our furry friends and our pets. Once again, it is the Positively Petland show every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock right here on Iowa City's News and Sports Station 800 KXIC. See you, Ron.
Have a great Sunday.